I'm Donald Trump, and I approve this message.
Trump steaks are the world's greatest steaks, and I mean that in every sense of the word. And the Sharper Image is the only store where you can buy them. I know your pain. I know you're hurt. We had an election that was stolen from us.
Ready? Let's do one more. Great line. If you think what I've done in New York is spectacular, then come to Atlantic City. You'll really see something.
This is Donald Trump. Remember, the buck starts here, and you're...
That's why he's calling for a temporary shutdown of Muslims entering the United States until we can figure out what's going on. He'll quickly cut the head off ISIS and take their oil. And he'll stop illegal immigration by building a wall on our southern border that Mexico will pay for.
It's a very tough period of time. There's never been a time like this where such a thing happened, where they could take it away from all of us, from me, from you, from our country.
His recordings are always something special.
He's always so smooth and easy to listen to.
Really great arrangements.
And now Ray Conniff announces his newest and best record collection yet. 20 of today's greatest hits, all in the inimitable Conniff style. 20 hits like Candyman, Close to You,
Why do birds suddenly appear every time you are near?
Song Sung Blue,
Song sung blue, everybody knows one.
Sweet Caroline. Yes, 20 great songs, the smoothest music this side of your stereo. All performed by the Ray Conniff Chorus and Orchestra, and all at the bargain price of just $5.98 and more. So altogether you get 30 of today's greatest hits arranged and recorded by Ray Conniff. 3 big stereo records for the sensational price of only $5.98. Also on 8-track cartridges for $9.98. All by Columbia House.
Captain Rogers, it's nice seeing you again.
Tie a yellow ribbon, take 2.
Following is a paid political broadcast by the Eisenhower-Nixon California Committee.
To kick out the crooks and the others that have besmirched their reputations in Washington, D.C., and that's what we're going to do.
U.S. President, pretty wife, lovely daughter. What more could any man wish? Jack Kennedy was born into a rich family whose fortunes were built up in the land of opportunity. But 110 years ago, his great-great-grandfather lived outside New Ross, Duncanstown, Ireland. Starvation faced him in his tiny farm cottage, and he emigrated to America.
The most serious domestic matter facing the United States, I think, today, is the decline in agricultural income. And its most serious manifestation is the decline in the income of the dairy farmers of the state of Wisconsin. I think that this problem is most important, not only to the state of Wisconsin, but also to the United States. Through new research into new uses of milk, I think we can begin an upturn.
Bus driver, please look for me, 'cause I couldn't bear to see what I might see. I'm really still in prison. My love, she holds the key. A single yellow ribbon's what I need to set me free.
This resource can be a source.
We don't say this resource can be a source.
What has to be done by President and people together, or it won't be done at all. I am asking not that you give something to your country, but that you do something with your country. I am asking not for your gifts, but for your hands.
If I don't see a ribbon round the old oak tree, I'll stay on the bus, forget about us, and put the blame on me.
Well, I don't know. I just think that the times are much too critical and too crucial for people to not participate. I'm fed up with apathy. I originally was fed up with the Johnson administration, but right now I'm fed up with apathy. And people who think it's, that they really don't care. It's interesting that in New Hampshire and Wisconsin, what happened when the young people got involved in an election? I really don't understand how the candidates can live through 6 or 7 months of campaigning. I get through about 4 or 5 days and forget it.
Stand up and let's strike the band up. Who's lifting this land up? Yes, Nix is a 1 and 2 go.
For there is no force on earth to match the will and spirit of the people of America. Never has so much military, economic, and diplomatic power been used so ineffectively as in Vietnam.
Shout it, the world's gonna shout it. There's no doubt about it. Yes, Nix is the 1 to go with Nixon. Remember Dick Nixon, the man who is fixing to lead us to win in 68. Yes, Nix is the 1 to go with.
We're talking about pep pills and sleeping pills. Barbiturates, the sleeping pills, bear colorful names like goofballs, red devils, yellow jackets, blue heavens, and rainbows. There are the facts. There is only one way to interpret them. Take these drugs, and a couple of goofballs can transport you to a limbo world where nothing matters. This is Paul Newman at Universal Studios in Universal City, California. Thank you.
Enough goofballs and pep pills, for instance, are being manufactured this year to provide 24 pills to every man, woman, and child in the United States.
A few years ago, there was a song called Eve of Destruction. It was a sad song of the end of the world, a song of violence. Today, the world still exists, and so do the problems. This year, we have been shocked by a violent event. People of peace have been killed. Violence against love is the fight of the human rights. And we need more love and less violence.
For your love, I just give you everything I have. For your love, I just give you everything I got. You know, folks, that love is the only word.
Sock it to me?
President Nixon doesn't believe we should play games with our national security. He believes in a strong America, to negotiate for peace from strength. The McGovern bill would make 47% of the people in the United States eligible for welfare. 47%. Almost every other person in the country would be on welfare. And who's going to pay for this? Well, if you're not the 1 out of 2 people on welfare, you do.
I've been happy before, I'll be happy again. There'll be rainbows to fill the sky and silver linings again. He has promised to dry every tear from my eye. I will trust him today, though skies are gray, I'll be happy again.
You asked for an end to the war. You wanted peace. You said the draft was unfair.
Why should blacks and poor kids be more liable to the draft than the whites and well-off? You asked for a say in our government. You wanted a voice in your future. You said, why isn't something being done to save our environment? You wanted human priorities to come first. You spoke out for change. You asked for reform. You looked for a better America.
We cannot learn from one another until we stop shouting at one another, until we speak quietly enough so that our words can be heard, as well as our voices.
When Richard Nixon came into office, all America was asking for change, especially our youth.
I found my freedom.
Noise abatement has become a matter of national concern. Our lakes and shorelines are going to be safeguarded from pollution. President Nixon tackled the problem of drugs, which he labeled America's public enemy number one.
You can do it. Do it, yeah. Do it. Do it, yeah. Do it. Do it, yeah. Yeah.
Many presidents have ended wars. Very few presidents have had success in building a structure of peace that would last. We've had a war in every generation in this century. I want the rest of this century, and then beyond that, to possibly be a time when no Americans are fighting any place in the world.
We think that tonight, having the Carpenters, one of America's finest young group in America, entertain us is most appropriate.
Just like me, they long to be close to you.
American youth today has its fringes, but that's part of the greatness of our country. I have great faith in American youth.
Good evening, my fellow Americans. Tonight, American and South Vietnamese units will attack the headquarters for the entire communist military operation in South Vietnam. This is not an invasion of Cambodia.
The real war is in us. History is a symptom of our disease.
In a surprise Christmas bombing of Hanoi, President Nixon today delivered more tonnage than was used at Dresden in World War II. It is without doubt the most brutal bombing in American history. Newspapers are calling it a Stone Age tactic, Nixon a maddened tyrant. Nixon's response: when the Vietnamese take the Paris peace talks seriously, I'll stop.
Ray Conniff and his very famous choral group will now entertain us. And if the music is square, it's because I like it square.
President Nixon, stop bombing human beings, animals, and vegetation. You go to church on Sundays and pray to Jesus Christ. If Jesus Christ were here tonight, you would not dare drop another bomb. Bless the Berrigans and bless Daniel Ellsberg.
He's making eyes at me. Ma, he's awfully nice.
Thank you very much, and good evening. I want you all to know what a wonderful thrill it is for us to be performing for you here at the White House. I assure you, Mr. President, the first part of the program was as much a shock to me as it was to you. All right.
Certainly.
This is a memorandum of what actually took place at the Lincoln Memorial. As you recall, the press conference was at 10 o'clock Friday night. I then went to bed, slept soundly until shortly after 4 o'clock.
When I woke up, I got up and went into the Lincoln sitting room and was listening to a Rachmaninoff number. Manolo apparently heard it, came down to the Lincoln sitting room, and then as I looked out at the window and saw the small knots of students began to gather, I asked him if he had ever been to the Lincoln Memorial at night. He said he had not. I said, get your clothes on and we'll go down to the Lincoln Memorial. I have never seen the Secret Service quite so petrified with apprehension.
Hi, I'm Dick Nixon. Hi there. Hi, where are you from?
Syracuse.
Oh, yeah, the Orange Man. There's a football program. Jim Brown and that other tailback, the one with the blood disease.
Ernie Davis.
Yeah, right. I used to play a little ball myself at Whittier. Of course, they used to use me as a tackling dummy.
We didn't come here to talk about football.
Yeah, I understand that. How old are you, young lady?
19?
Well, probably most of you think I'm a real SOB. I know that, and I understand how you feel, but, you know, I want peace too, but peace with honor.
What does that mean?
Well, you can't have peace without a price. Sometimes you have to be willing to fight for peace, and sometimes to die.
Yeah? Tell that to the GIs who are going to die tomorrow in Vietnam.
What you have to understand, Mr. Nixon, is we're willing to die for what we believe in.
Watergate. The White House called it a third-rate burglary, but it escalated into the worst political scandal in American history. President Richard Nixon, only months after landslide re-election, finds himself haunted by a question that will not go away.
What did the president know, and when did he know it?
You know, I'm not exactly crazy about having to tell you that you're getting a phone call. It's not like I don't have better things to do. In fact, I probably could have bought at least 10 buildings in this time, and I've been talking to you already. That's a little bit wrong in the back, right? Let me just do the last part.
For the first time in the nation's 198-year history, a president resigns his office before his term is over.
I know how you feel.
This is the story of the fall of Richard Milhouse Nixon.
My friend Ollie always wants to take a lot of pictures. I'm afraid he'll catch me picking my nose. Oh, you want a level, don't you? Yes, yes. Good evening. This is the 37th time I have spoken to you from this office, where so many decisions have been made that shape the history of our nation. It's enough, okay? Now, all Secret Service, is there any Secret Service in the room?
Just one agent, Mr. President.
Out. You don't have to stay, do you? If you're required to. In all the decisions I have made in my public life, I have always tried to do what was best for the nation. I shall resign the presidency effective at noon tomorrow.
Richard Milhouse Nixon, having announced, as the whole world knows now, last night, that he was resigning.
Stand by.
Shit, it makes him appear like a goddamn animal.
Mm-hmm. Quiet.
Of course he was.
Okay.
There was someone before. There'll be someone again. Even death cannot conquer now. His grave is empty, my friend. When the dark billows roll, he restores my soul. Though there's trouble today, I hear him say, you'll be happy again. What I believe. I believe in rainbows and puppy dogs and fairy tales. And I believe in the family. Mom, Dad, Grandma. And Uncle Todd waves his penis. And I believe in 8 of the 10 commandments. And I believe in going to church every Sunday unless there's a game on.
I believe that sex is one of the most beautiful, wholesome, and natural things that money can buy. And I believe it's derogatory to refer to a woman's breasts as boobs, jugs, Winnebagos, or golden bozos. And you should only refer to them as hooters. And I believe you should place a woman on a pedestal high enough so you can look up her dress. And I believe in equality. Equality for everyone, no matter how stupid they are or how much better I am than they are. And people say I'm crazy for believing this, but I believe that robots are stealing my luggage. And I believe that Ronald Reagan can make this country what it once was, an Arctic region covered with ice. And I believe that the only good laugh is the laugh you get from a professional comedian. And lastly, I believe that of all the evils on this earth, there is nothing worse than the music you're listening to right now.
We love you. You're very special. You've seen what happens. You see the way others are treated that are so bad and so evil. Treat yourself to the very, very best life has to offer. And as a gift, Trump steaks are the best you can give. I probably could have bought at least 10 buildings in the time, and I've been talking to you all of this. Well, let me just do that last one.